Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to give you some key points which might help you answer one of the oldest questions in music business. Should you learn an instrument all by yourself or should you get a teacher? Let's find out. I can already hear the comments from you. Why should I get a teacher? Jimi Hendrix or James Hetfield, they didn't have a teacher and they turned out great. A teacher is just a waste of money and time and I can learn that all by myself. What is your experience? Who are you to tell me if I should get a teacher or not? So I did both practices. I started learning the guitar all by myself with an old book, but after a while I figured maybe I should get some professional help and went on to a teacher. It was a kind of group session where I learned with two other people. We played together and it was really nice, but after a while the other two had to leave and it was only me and the lesson got too expensive for me, and so I quit as well and said, okay, I want to learn the guitar all by myself again. Did that for a while, it was great, but then I reached another plateau. So I was able to play the scales, I was able to play chords, I was able to play a few songs, but I couldn't quite improve all my skills and really get good. And I figured maybe this is a kind of lack of motivation, maybe this is a kind of lack of discipline or skill, and maybe a teacher will help me see where my mistakes are, what I can improve and how I can improve. So I took another teacher for about half a year, which really helped me figure out where my key problems are and to overcome these problems. When I moved from Hamburg to Berlin, I had to quit the guitar school there as well. And now I'm back at learning all by myself. But I took a lot of information from that teacher on how to approach different new techniques or new skills and how to learn them, and not just go run into a new set of information and try to grab it and put it all in and just go slowly with a different approach. Let's be honest here. It has never been easier to learn an instrument, especially the guitar. You got YouTube videos, you got tabs online, and you got songbooks from so many artists. So when people are starting to learn an instrument, after a few weeks, they're starting to question themselves. Is this enough? Should I get a teacher? Or should I just buy more books, watch my YouTube videos? And I'm trying to give you some of the key points which might help you in that decision. Spoiler alert, there's no definitive answer. It all depends on your circumstances. Of course, how should it be? At the end and even at the beginning, it all comes down to money. So when you look at hiring a teacher, the first question you're always asking is, how much does it cost me? And what do you get in return? So usually here in Berlin, Germany, where I live, you pay around 70 to 100 euros a month. And that depends on if you get 30 minutes per week, 45 minutes a week, or even 1 hour per week. So you get 4 sessions in a month and you pay around 100 euro for that. But this is highly influenced by your situation. So if you're a student and you don't have that much money, then 100 euro a month could be a lot. If you are working and you have that money, then it's no problem, might be no problem at all. And then you have to see, what do you get in return? So what kind of teacher do you have? Is it a music school where all the staff is educated in special education, musical education, and knows their way around? Or is it just a musician, another guitar player who's teaching? Or is it even just a friend? The main problem with musicians teaching is that sometimes they're really great musicians, but they don't really know how to teach. So they can play a lot of great things and you can see it and you can copy it, but they don't know how to explain it properly to you. On the other hand, with a music school, maybe they don't have the right music style for you. So for example, if you're into metal, some music schools, they just offer classical guitar training or jazz guitar training, and they might not have the proper teacher for you. When you're learning for yourself, then the first thing you're going to do is you're watching YouTube videos. That's why you're here, isn't it? You look for videos where different techniques are explained or how you can play a song and what you can do, and you watch it and you try to repeat it. Maybe you have an old book laying around, or even you bought a new book teaching you how to play the guitar, and then you just look around how to hold chords, how to play notes, and all that different things, and you learn that all by yourself. Costs of that, maybe 100 euro in a year, so it's much more cheaper than getting a teacher. Or you buy online courses from different musicians or guitar teachers where you pay a monthly fee or you pay one fee for the whole course, and then you can play along with that. And the good thing about the most books or guitar books or music books or even online courses is that they are pretty well structured. So you have a lot of explanation, you got a CD with all the tracks, sometimes you even got video material where they show you what to do. So if we just compare the costs of getting a teacher or learning an instrument by yourself with just books or maybe an online course, it seems like in the first round, the self-learning part has won because it's much more cheaper. But we will see in the next part why this might be problematic. The next point you have to think of is how flexible you are with your schedule. If you're a student or if you have your own business, you may be much more free with your time and what you can do than if you're working shifts or if you're working from 9 to 5. So depending on that, if you want to get a teacher, usually you make one appointment a week and this date stays for the next weeks or months. If you have to change it because you're maybe having a different shift or you have to put on extra hours at work, then it might be difficult to talk with the teacher and sometimes you have to skip a lesson. Sometimes you can recall that lesson at the end of the month if you have a good teacher. Other teachers are a bit more flexible and at the beginning of each month then you lay out the schedule for this month and then you can reschedule if you see you have different shifts or another appointments. If you're learning the instrument by yourself, then you are more flexible. You can learn it before you go to work, you can learn it after work or after school, learn it in breaks in between, or you can take your time at the weekend just in one big practice session, which I wouldn't recommend, but it's up to you. But even though the flexibility might seem as another win for learning the guitar by yourself, there's a big key point coming up, which I think is the major key point in the decision if you want to take a teacher or if you want to learn the guitar by yourself. Now we're talking about short-term and long-term motivation. When you start to learn an instrument, then you're eager to learn everything you can. From scales, chords, techniques, songs, you really have that motivational high and you want to do as much as you can. In the first weeks, you're maybe practicing 1 or 2 hours a day and at the weekends a bit longer. And it's really great because it helps you develop your skills at the beginning at a very fast pace. But the more you progress, then you're reaching a kind of fatigue because you have to learn more and more of the techniques and repeat them to get good, to get muscle memory or to learn how the scales are working. It can become quite a bit boring. And so you're losing that starting motivation and you really have to motivate yourself by other factors to get going or to keep going. So if you have that motivation at all times and you are maybe one person who is really eager to learn new things and is dedicated to them and you keep on learning, then it's perfect. Then you can learn an instrument by yourself and you can keep that motivation high. If you're a bit different and you really have to find motivation after a few weeks, then maybe a teacher might be a better part for you. But here comes one of the most important things when getting a teacher. It is not the responsibility of the teacher that you are practicing your guitar. Your teacher gets the money either way. And it's your time and your money you're wasting if you're not using the time in between the sessions to practice everything you learned in the session with your teacher. The responsibility of a teacher is to show you new techniques, to show you where you are making mistakes, to help you overcome these mistakes, to improve your skills, and maybe to help you developing an interest in other musical parts. But if you don't practice in between and you just go to a teacher every week and you have to repeat all the same stuff because you can't progress any further, because you're lacking the motivation in between. And coming back to one of the points at the beginning, if you have a really good teacher who is experienced in musical education, then it's easy for him to keep you motivated by giving you new, exciting things to learn, to give you maybe your favorite songs you want to learn, or to help you to set a goal and to achieve that goal. And you have to talk with your teacher as well to say, what do you want to achieve? Do you want to be on stage? Do you want to play for friends? Do you want to record your own music or whatever? Then the teacher can help you achieve that goal by giving you the specific parts you need to know and help you improve in these parts. And another major motivational issue, especially with learning by yourself, is there's so much stuff online and in bookshops. So it's really, really hard to lose your focus, to not even know where you want to go or if you want to learn anything new. So sometimes maybe you find yourself sitting on a computer and watching YouTube video and another YouTube video of great guitar players showing you different techniques and you want to learn it all at once, but it's just way too advanced. And sometimes you find yourself sitting at home and want to practice with one of your books, and then you're just staring at your bookshelf saying, okay, which one do I take now? And when you are like me and you have a lot of different books bought over the years, then it's really hard to see which one is the right one I have to take right now to improve that particular skill. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't go that deep into all the different aspects and just wanted to give you a general view of the 3 key points I think are important to make a decision if you want to take a teacher or not. So tell me about your situation. Are you practicing right now with a teacher? Are you looking for a teacher, or do you all learn by yourself? Do you maybe have problems finding a teacher, maybe because you live in a rural area and there's no teacher around, or a teacher is too expensive in your area? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you in my next video.